So I'm not going to be at EVO France, EVO Japan, EVO Vegas, EVO Singapore, the EVO award show. I'm a free man currently. I have no deal with Chipotle or anybody else. I'm chilling. I got no other additional stuff. So what's my plan of attack for the year? Like, what am I thinking? I am pretty interested in traveling to events that are not EVO. And in fact, a lot of events have hit me up in the last like few days already. Let's go to other grassroots fighting game events that are local, regional, or major side all over the world. Like, I'm down to go wherever, basically. Film content at them. So like I can film vlogs whenever I travel anywhere. I can like talk about them on stream. I can talk with TOs, devs, whatever, and like get people to show up, check out these events, like talk about why they matter, and then give some support and spotlight to the different places that are running fighting game tournaments that are not connected to these. So there's lots of events that I've never been to that I'm like pretty interested in going to. I've never been to, for example, Genesis, and I know that that's like pretty early in the year. I've never been to UFA, which Broski brought up earlier, but I was talking about going yesterday. So like, yeah, I've never been to UFA. I've never been to like BAM. I've never been to a lot of places in Asia, particularly outside of Japan. I've been to South America a couple of times, but yeah, you know, going for a fighting game tournament would be dope. Like, I basically am just open to going wherever for grassroots events if people want to do stuff and just checking them out. And like on the topic of Evo, I think both myself and Max are not going, which is basically the two biggest North American creators essentially, right? Like that play fighting games. We're just not going. I don't know who else is gonna not go, but like we might be the only ones. And like, if you're like, oh man, I was gonna go to Evo, you can still go to Evo. It's not on me to tell you whether you should go or not if you're interested. I personally don't want to go, and if your reasons align with mine, then like there's lots of other dope events to check out, and that's kind of the point that I'm gonna make. I'm not gonna go, and I can fill my calendar and year with fighting game events and like cool stuff. So if you're interested in doing the same, I'm going to show some other options that could be super dope. You know what I mean? Just start traveling, doing commentary, hanging out, that kind of stuff. Alongside the normal stuff I do, the normal slams, the normal content, the normal whatever, right? But like just an option to do that instead. Yeah, that's the other thing is I'm kind of thinking about entering some events. You know, a lot of these events, I think they need me for commentary also, but I'm kind of thinking like, what if this year we just go enter some events and like fucking rip it and see how things go? Thoughts? I was competing in events up until 2017 or 18 basically was one like the last time. I got too busy basically. I would go to every tournament and be commentating like 3 different games, which meant I was on for like 6 or 8 hours a day, which meant there was just no time for me to play. You think I have what it takes to win a bracket versus all the 2x KO sweats? Yeah. What do you mean all the 2x KO sweat? I am the fucking sweat. They're gonna run into Jonathan Wick in France at the Arch and they're gonna be like, oh fuck. I don't think everybody liked that every famous monument in France, I just pointed to it and I said that's from John Wick 4. But I thought the bit was great, so I just kept doing it. John Wick is so cool. I wish France was real. That's what I'm saying. The minute we get into January, there's just fucking shit flying everywhere. Like so many games and events and things going on just like back to back to back to back to back. So speaking of which, guys, who's up Nen in the Impact, huh? You guys Nen in your Impact? You guys playing? If the character can't just like infinite you off one hit and kill you instantly, is he even good in this game? Let's all be honest. Like, if you can't just like one tap people, is the character even valuable in this game? He looks like he's wearing a jumpsuit from the Street Fighter. What was that collab they did, like the Olympic one or whatever, or like the tracksuits? He's just got a tracksuit on. That's what he looks like. Cody. Cody, if you put a tracksuit on him from Street Fighter 5. That's what he looks like to me. He's really, his arm is really sore. He be winding up his punch, the next punch gets stronger. Oh, that's why he's winding. This game, I think, if it had good netcode, I would have had a blast smashing on it for like 2 weeks, and then I would probably watch tournaments for it. But I think the future of this game is a little sad now. Hard to justify a full price fighting game with not a lot of features. You know, a lot of people are already not interested in, and then the online play is not good. Like, yeah, that's pretty brutal. Both of these games actually, huh? Obviously, Fatal Fury much more popular than Nen Impact, but the comparison is like the other games like Sam Show and Art of Fighting. Probably not surprising to you. Over $4.1 million. Where's all that money coming from? From the SNK World Championships in 2026 with the same game lineup as last year, which is shocking. They have auto qualifier spots and they also have point qualifying spots, which is something that a lot of people really wanted. If you really do want to just be playing for money, money, there's an option, right? These games are gonna have less players, especially the older games, right? Less players than a lot of the other common titles out there with insane prize money. I don't think there's like a better amount of people playing the game to earnings possible in the fighting game market, you know? Take a look at Evo France, give you guys an example of like the player numbers. So there's 1,600 players for Street Fighter. Tekken 8 has 1,100, almost 1,200 players. City of the Wolves is 389. So it's usually like the third or fourth place game. In fact, it's the fifth game at Evo France of 7. I don't think the prize pool really does much for the player count. Like if you're like a random player who's interested in playing a fighting game, the like quality of life or like version of the game that's out is more important to you than prize money, because you're not going to get any of that prize money, right? So like, why would the prize money of a Pro Tour matter to you if you're just like a general player? If you're a content creator, I don't know how many of them are going to swap to this either. I don't know that there's a lot of viewership, but for players, the money is absurd. Do you think any of the Street Fighter players will be like, dude, I'm playing Street Fighter against 7,000 other people at this event, or I could compete in Fatal Fury against 400 other people and like just try to squeeze in and get a chunk of that pie? You know what I mean? Like it's such a crazy choice. I think if you're a top player, it's like a real conversation you probably gotta have with yourself right now about like, can I make top 8 at these events? And like, if so, should I just swap off my main game to go play this for money? Watching the highest level of play for this game, I think people will enjoy it quite a bit, and like this keeps all the top players here. If this game didn't have like a big tour this year, I think quite a bit of the top players might like focus on other games. But I think like Chao Hai and like Lagia and like, you know, a lot of these players who were probably interested in playing the game anyway are definitely locking in on this and playing a lot this year. This is the greatest announcement of all time if you're Goichi, because the thing about Goichi is that guy doesn't give a fuck, man. Like whatever game comes out, if there's a lot of prize money on the line, he will be farming it. What's up, Dale? Oh, he's cozy.